Imagine sitting on top of an angry 1,500-pound beast, a heaving mass of muscle and rage whose single goal is to destroy you. As the chute gate creaks open, your world narrows to just you and the bull beneath you. Each of his furious bucks threatens to smash your body against unforgiving ground, but you grip on tightly as the adrenaline courses through your veins. Lean back, spur hard, make him twist and turn, but hold your seat. The buzzer sounds a sweet song at 8 seconds, though it feels like an eternity straddling this powder keg between your legs. A few more violent kicks still try flinging you aside until you dismount in triumph, landing on the ground and getting out of the way of the stomping bull. Elation swells as the scoreboard flashes your hard-earned points. This is a contest for glory, built on titanium toughness and nerves of steel. For bull riders across the world, including 19-year-old Seth Salteaux, this is simply living. The grueling training, the painful injuries, the dirt and grime, the camaraderie of cowboys. Until one fateful day in 2023, when the cheers of the crowd turned to silent gasps of horror. What happened to this talented bull rider in those final, terrifying moments? Dawn's rosy fingers stretch across Alberta's endless golden fields as the Salteaux Ranch stirs. Today is no ordinary Saturday for 19-year-old Seth. The Indian National Finals Rodeo Qualifier event has arrived after months of ceaseless preparation on the farm. One last ride on home soil before Seth sets out to capture the INFR Championship title in Las Vegas in December. Seth proudly embraced his First Nations heritage as a member of the Ermineskin Cree Nation, hailing from Maskwacis, Alberta. His indigenous roots were tightly interwoven through both his active participation within the rodeo community, as well as Seth's personal identity. Salteaux developed his audacious bull riding skills and gritty determination through dreams of honoring his culture's lengthy legacy of skilled horsemen and rodeo champions. He harbored aspirations of becoming one of the most acclaimed indigenous bull riding talents ever known, a shining star among his people. Seth rode with his tribe's emblem emblazoned on clothing and gear during competitions as a tribute. The exact details of this day leading up until Seth's final ride are known only to those who were with him at each moment. But, from the research I could find on this brave teenage cowboy, what follows are the likely scenarios until that last ride. The tantalizing vision of Seth winning that glistening championship trophy buckle just weeks from now quickens his pulse as he dresses. His soundtrack of country favorites fills the room, while Seth visualizes staying square and tight atop the rankest bulls, making razor decisions in milliseconds that separate champions from failures. This dream crystallizes after thousands of hours of training, injuries battled through, lonely miles crisscrossing the rodeo circuit, sacrificing a normal teen social life. Only one thing matters. Rodeo immortality is calling, and Seth resolves to meet it fearlessly today. His dedication inspires his grandfather Marcel, who arrives early to review riding strategy. Seth's close relationship with Marcel prompted him to only refer to him as Dad. Marcel knows Seth has a penchant for choosing the rankest bulls to thrill packed grandstands. He tries gently advising Seth stick to easier draws today, with Las Vegas on the horizon, but Seth just flashes his signature grin and promises to select only kinda rank bulls. From an early age, Marcel tried to redirect Seth away from the dangers of bull riding to a safer rodeo sport like roping events, but they couldn't compete with bull riding for a place in his grandson's heart. Seth's close friend and riding partner Tryon Simon soon pulls in to drive them to the grounds. Tryon's stomach flutters with competition nerves, but noticing Seth's laser-like intensity, he feigns nonchalance himself. Their brotherly competitive rivalry flickers momentarily, though, as Tryon challenges Seth to best his own 78-point ride today. Seth scoffs and boasts even breaking 90 aboard the rankest bull Tryon's ever seen. The good-natured ribbing loosens both young men, allowing anticipation's electricity to flow freely on the drive over. When Tryon thinks back to his friend, he says, "He was so joyful and such a kind person. Always cared about other people's emotions, too. He was always there for you." The legendary Chiniki Rodeo grounds, where Seth would draw his last breath, sits etched into the breathtaking landscape of the Stoney Nakoda First Nation, west of Calgary. This sacred tribal land nurtures both the spirits of its indigenous people and challenges the courage of those who compete within its storied rodeo arena. Weathered bucking chutes and a lone grandstand fan out under the shadow of the Chiniki Mountain, rising timeless to the east. Here, generations of riders risk life and limb atop the Alberta frontier's wildest beasts, carving legends from the earth before becoming part of the land's lore themselves. Late morning, shade drapes the Chiniki Arena as vendors haul smoking barbecue pits ringside while contestants register draws. The bonus event's generous added prize purse promises to lure every regional hotshot, and Seth shoulders the burden gladly of defending home turf today. Speeding through his repertoire of arm, neck, and wrist stretches, Seth visualizes effortlessly synchronized rides aboard each possible opponent. Judges' scores and arena sound fade out, only heartbeats sinking as his and the bull's pulse combine into a singular cadence leading to victory. Perhaps his biggest hero, Lane Frost, was also not far from his mind. From the moment young Seth Salteaux first witnessed iconic cowboy Lane Frost ride, he felt destiny calling. Frost's audacious style and swashbuckling big event mentality captivated Seth's imagination as a child, growing up on the Salteaux family ranch. Late nights were spent watching grainy VHS tapes of Frost's legendary rides and improbable escapes from danger after being flung by massive bulls. As Seth matured into a promising young rider himself, Lane Frost became both idol and inspiration, fueling Seth's own riding dreams. Frost's bold motto, "Live to ride, ride to live," resonated profoundly with the fearless teenager, imprinting on Seth's brain as a personal creed moving forward. Salteaux made a pilgrimage to the commemorative statue, honoring Frost's Cheyenne Frontier Days championship ride, moved by tragic photos recounting the injuries that ended Frost's extraordinary career and life prematurely in 1989. Vowing to ride with the guts and grit that defined his hero, Salteaux spoke often to friends of Frost's impossible comeback rides and charisma that he hoped to channel. Horrifyingly, fate would mirror their story, a shared tragic end shockingly early in their young lives. The stands overflowed with eager spectators hungry for excitement. Down in the paddocks and chutes, talented cowboys like Seth readied themselves, nerves and adrenaline amplifying the pounding of hooves against metal gates. Seth was no stranger to these pressure cooker environments, having already qualified for the prestigious Indian National Finals rodeo multiple times. Though still an up-and-comer, Seth had proven over the past 5 years that he contained grit and fearlessness exceeding his youth. At around 5 p.m., Seth strides toward the chutes. He's one of the final bull riding participants of the day. His eyes shine intensely, already wholly focused on the looming 1,700-pound black speckled bull in chute 1, digging furrows with sharp hooves. Opposite the judging area, Seth nods to his family, assembled ringside, then claps his grandfather firmly on the back. His grin doesn't quite mask the hard-set jawline, already visualizing a flawless, upcoming ride. With an assist, Seth pulls himself firmly atop the bellowing freight train of muscle and fury, pent furious below. He adjusts his gear, signaling he's ready, resplendent in white bull rope, vivid rider vest, helmet, and weathered leather chaps. Seth sits immovable. The very picture of gritty, boyish confidence. He gives a quick chin tip to open the gate. The shrieking gates swung open, and Seth exploded outward, clinging to a twisting, spinning missile of muscle. Time slowed as the lithe cowboy absorbed each bucking convulsion, leather gloves white-knuckled atop the swirling mass. But after several endless seconds of battle, Seth lost his grip, and the raging bull beneath him tossed him into the air. In mere moments, Seth's world shatters forever. He landed on the hard-packed dirt, but not before the bull's horn impacted the back of his head. Somehow, his safety helmet didn't crack, and he slowly made his way out of the arena before he collapsed to the ground. Seth's grandfather Marcel tells the tragic final moments of Seth's life. "He got hit pretty hard," said Marcel, adding that his grandson was wearing a helmet and other protective gear. He got up and got out of the arena and told one of his cousins, "Call my grandpa," and then he fell down. That was it. That was the last of it. They took him in the ambulance. They didn't even get half a mile out of there, and he was gone. We raced out there, but he was gone. He was gone. I think the whole rodeo came to be with us. Seth's mother, Elation, received the heartbreaking news by phone from a friend at the Chiniki Rodeo grounds. She called me when he collapsed and they were trying to revive him, Elation said. Then I lost the signal. Right after the clash, Seth was carried out of the grounds. The organizers had a doctor on call who gave first aid. Soon after, the ambulance arrived to take him to the local hospital. One of the EMS responders said the call they received was for a traumatic head injury, but tragically, in the ambulance, it turned into cardiac arrest. That cardiac arrest would claim Seth Salteaux's life in moments, only a few months away from his 20th birthday. The bull that took Salteaux's life came from a contractor based out of North Alberta. He is aware of the fact that a bull rider puts himself in a dangerous position every time he steps into the rodeo arena. However, committee members never imagined this bull would cause such a tragic loss. The weight of guilt and sorrow are heavy, but they don't blame the animal for it. After all, bulls are trained with a job to do just as much as their cowboys.